For one night only, straight out of the Michigan judicial system, it's the East Lansing All-Stars. Come and get entertained by such one-liners as 100,000 for assault. And who can forget, just shoot that bitch. Diamond wants sex.
We're the best employment agency there is, isn't it?
She was what you would call big boned, you know?
Operators are standing by. Don't miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime event.
11:47 this morning from the jail. He was telling her that this wasn't right, instructing her to come bond him out, and that once they get out together, they will figure out what actually happened here. This is very concerning for my office. That, coupled with the actual observations by the officers and the fact that he did not want to respond to the officers' orders to stop trying to run away from them, the people are requesting $100,000 cash surety, along with GPS tether, victim notification, and exclusion zone. The people also request the no contact order to include the victim's children who are witnesses in this matter, whose names are reflected in the bond form. I feel that that is appropriate for this crime and for the defendant's behavior. Thank you.
Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor. We would like to remind the court that the prior charges, assault with dangerous weapon and so forth, were from the 1990s. There have been other charges, but they have been dismissed since then. Mr. Pfeiffer does state that Mr. Smith put forward a self-defense argument in this case, and certainly enjoys the presumption of innocence. He is running his own business. He does have significant ties to the community. And so we're asking the court to reconsider a 10% bond for Mr. Smith, that he might be able to post bond at some point in this case.
Based on the excuse me, information provided by both the affidavit of probable cause, but also the prosecutor, the court does have overwhelming concern for the safety of the victim as well as the public. I believe that the request for $100,000 cash surety bond is appropriate. Bond will be set at that amount, $100,000 cash surety with GPS tether and victim notification. I'm going to order that the victim's number be blocked while the defendant is in the custody of the jail. I'm going to also order that there's a no contact order in place protecting Ms. Deandra Embry and the two minors listed here in the complaint. Mr. Smith, you're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever they live, work, go to school, go grocery shopping, worship in church, do their laundry, anything else. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of them. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with them. Do you understand that?
I do, Your Honor.
You understand what direct contact means?
Conversation, telephone calls, direct contact. I do understand.
Okay. Well, give me some examples of indirect contact.
Indirect contact,
Correct.
walking past her,
Or having someone else. You can't have any third party contact. You can't use anybody else to deliver a message on your behalf. You can't call from another potential inmate's number to contact her. There's not to be any communication of any kind during the pendency of this matter. Do you understand that?
That's fine.
You can make sure you appear to all of your court dates. You've been provided your next two court dates at this time. You're not to travel outside of the state unless you get prior approval from the court. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to use, purchase, or possess drugs or alcohol while on bond unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of release from custody. You'll be reporting to them weekly. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
I do not. $100,000. Or assault.
I'm gonna remind you again of your right to remain silent, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Diamond Jenkins.
All right, Ms. Jenkins. This is case number 2305-686-103, People of the State of Michigan versus Diamond Jenkins. Counsel.
Thanks, Judge. Steve Benson on behalf of the people. Ryan Marad, P83665, on behalf of Ms. Diamond Jenkins, we agree to stand here. Ms. Jenkins has been advised of the right.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, and I will hear your argument as to bond.
Thanks, Judge. This is a recent matter that just occurred allegedly about a week and a half ago. This particular defendant, the people would like to know, it appears as though she's being charged with 3 counts. Counts 1, 3, and 5 out of 12 for ultimately all 3 of these defendants. Dear Judge, allegedly due to an incident that took place the night prior, where the defendant 1 held a firearm to one of the complainants involved in this case's head, demanding sex. Then defendant 3, Ms. Diamond Jenkins, goes to that house the following day because that individual defendant had left a book bag over there. Defendant 3, dear Judge, attempts to allegedly instigate a fight with people at that residence, like a hand-to-hand fight. But then subsequently, defendant 3 allegedly tells both defendants 1 and 2, and this is based on statements of the complainants that ended up giving those to the police. She says, "Shoot that bitch." Then gunshots begin. That complainant that says she heard that statement gets hit 5 times with gunshots. And then there are 3 other individuals that sustain gunshots, one of which sustains 2 and the other 2 end up sustaining 1. But allegedly, defendant 3 here also was heard saying, "Go over there and finish that bitch," referring to complainant 1. Your Honor, there's also multiple surveillance, ring doorbell surveillance that captures the shooting, as well as a female voice, allegedly defendant 3 here, stating, "Run your whole ass up, don't you fucking come back."
May I speak, Your Honor?
No, hey, not yet. That's just the prosecutor. He knows they're only allegations and they might not be true. So just hold on. Now, Your Honor, subsequent to the shooting, the police ended up surveilling defendant's vehicle, which was identified at the time of the shooting at the residence. They surveil her vehicle and they observe her and the defendants driving to a pier somewhere in Grosse Pointe, where the surveillance watches them discard multiple objects into the water. Your Honor, also here we have multiple witnesses and victims who have identified the defendant, either saying what was previously mentioned in this matter, or that defendant 3 was at the scene of the incident, driving the vehicle that got all the defendants to and from the incident scene, as well as the vehicle that was used to discard the objects in the water. Your Honor, I personally have handled the arraignments on the 2 other defendants in this matter. Here we have 4 gunshot victims. We have 1 receiving 5 gunshots. All of them ultimately end up having one hospital. I think it's clear just based on the allegations in this matter that this defendant is potentially, likely, is a danger to the community. She also has a previous conviction. That's why there's a habitual notice in this matter for resisting obstructing a police officer. Your Honor, as a result of the allegations, previous conviction, as well as everything that happened in this matter, the people would be asking for a cash bond for this defendant in the amount of $250,000, no sure.
Thank you.
Judge, on behalf of Ms. Jenkins, I would argue that she is 30 years old, Your Honor. She's a resident here, a life resident in the city of Detroit. She does have a child. She has a significant other child that she does reside with. She's not employed right now, supporting a family size of 2. She's well within the guidelines. I guess when I say supporting, Your Honor, I don't mean financially, because there's no finances here. She indicates she's getting some power, she takes some medication that she's not receiving. Without being too much into this, I didn't hear anything about Ms. Jenkins actually shooting somebody. It looks like she was with some people who are alleged to have done that. We're here, she's here because verbatim, someone heard a female that they believe to be her. That's why we're here. I don't know how many other people were here. I don't know if we're here. There's some sort of, I guess, allegation that she has some sort of relation with the court. I don't have that either. I understand what the allegations are. I see it. She's not allowed to have actually shined, but this could be a case where somebody is in the wrong place at the wrong time. And we are going, I understand if there are some alleged statements that may lead the court to believe otherwise, but we haven't seen one. That's the question. This is about whether or not she's waiting in county for her court date. And I think the court GPS never heard her home. I guess the circumstances would be because she's not alleged to have committed the acts of violence. Now, whether or not any comments that may or may not have been made by her potentially could have exacerbated the results here, that's going to get flushed out of the exam, Your Honor. I don't have a case history. There's 1 R&O conviction, nothing else. No other pending matter. She's within the poverty guidelines. She has a child in the community. She's got some medication. She's not getting into jails. I just asked the court to tether her to her home. I know the charges are serious. I asked for a GPS tether and I have but there's nothing. Depending on the circumstances of the R&O, I'm going to argue that there's something assaulted. I don't know if it was under the resisting or obstructing categorical approach to the client, but I don't have anything else. And these are words that are being used to charge. It's going to have to cross itself out. I asked the court to close any dollar amount is on the
Thank you. DDC, please mark this file medical. Please mark the file medical.
Copy, Your Honor.
I'm going to take a moment with the investigator's report.
Ms. Jenkins, this is your lawyer talking. Right now, I don't want you to say absolutely anything. I know you're going through it. Just hang tight, okay? The magistrate's about to set a bond. I don't want you to make any statements. Just focus on your breathing and listen closely. put it down if you're gonna do it.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to know? Thank you. Right. Charge here, highest charge is assault with intent to murder, obviously a very serious charge. That being charged looks like under the theory that the defendant participated in encouraging the shooting that took place. Defense counsel, I do acknowledge your point that what was heard was a voice, and that there were actually sounds like two females present while this was going on, and a female voice was heard. But they have narrowed this down somewhat. What does concern me, though, is that, you know, in terms of the identification even of the voice, these are parties who are known to each other. They had had an incident with each other just prior. And so that does give some weight to the identification of the voice, that this was a voice that would have been known to the person who said that they attributed the statement to this defendant, encouraging the shooting that occurred. Bond is set here in the amount of $150,000 cash surety. There is to be no contact or attempted contact with complainants, meaning no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempted contact would be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. In addition, if Ms. Jenkins is able to make the bond, she must be fitted with a GPS tether before she leaves the jail, that GPS tether requiring full home confinement at this time. There will be a bond review hearing on Tuesday in front of Judge McConaughey, May 23rd in front of Judge McConaughey. After that, there will be a probable cause conference, May 26th, in front of Judge Sabri, and then preliminary examination is set for May 31st, also in front of Judge Sabri. Okay, Ms. Jenkins, you're all done for today. You'll be back in front of a judge on Tuesday, May the 23rd, who will reconsider the bond that I set for you here today.
Thank you. A bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 31st, 2023 at 8:45 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
No, sir. I
Okay.
was hoping for a PR.
Well, I'm not gonna grant you a PR. I understand it's your first bench warrant, but you have a sizable arrearage and you haven't paid in over a year. So what,
I just had,
what?
I just had a job here recently.
Okay,
I was
when
working
did
at
you,
Street Bud.
when did you get a job? Cause you just said you're not working,
No,
you are
I said
working?
recently I had a job. I had it within the last year.
Okay, and you didn't pay in the last year.
I mean, they were taking payments out of my check.
Okay, well, it says the last payment you made was in April of 2022, so look for taking it out of your
Okay,
check.
last year. Okay, that was last year, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a new year, I'm sorry.
What the court's gonna do is, in view of all that, the court's gonna set your bond in the amount of $500. Also order that you reimburse the sheriff transportation costs of $137.04. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
But I'm not gonna be able to do that, sir.
Okay,
And I
well,
was
then,
supposed to be going for a job interview a few days ago.
yeah, you'll remain there until the May 31st hearing then, unfortunately.
So now I'm gonna miss my other court date I got in Kalamazoo.
I have no idea what you have in Kalamazoo, but if you
Is
miss
there
that,
any-
they'll,
Is there a way you could please let me out today? Because I'm supposed to be going for a job interview, like get a job.
yeah, no, I'm not gonna let you out, sorry. Court will end this hearing at 8:16 a.m. You're free to go. Thank you. We're the best employment agency there is, isn't it?
They all have interviews then.
Yeah.
Is this Mr. Poplar?
Okay.
Mr. Poplar?
Yes.
Okay. Now before the court is J. Twan Poplar of case 16361 DP. Mr. Poplar is here today after failing to appear before referee Nets on December 9th, 2019. Bond is currently set at $2,742. This is the sixth bench warrant. He reports no employment. Last payment made on this account was in December of 2022. The Calhoun County Sheriff's Department is requesting transportation cost reimbursement in the amount of $137.04. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set in this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 31st, 2023 at 8:00 a.m. before this court.
Thank you. Mr. Poplar, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Just a second, I'll go through this and then you can talk. The purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 31st, 2023 at 8:00 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Go ahead, sir. What did you have? You had a question?
Yeah, I was telling them that I had FOC court along the way. I've been going in and out of jails. They've been sending me to jails across Michigan and Indiana. So I was trying to get them to give me a proof of incarceration. They wouldn't. But my lawyer, Mrs. Reed Outlaw, I still have her number. She was in South Bend, Indiana. And that's who, this was after I was incarcerated in Kalamazoo in December 2019. I was gonna say, I've been employed trying to make payments. Once I recently got out, I had 3 years. They had made me serve 3 years for something that I've done or had to plead into. So that's the only reason why those contempts probably happened, because I was dealing with jail from somewhere else. And then,
well, right, I recognize that, but you still have you have a sizable arrearage, and you haven't paid. You haven't paid in a while.
One last thing, I had this there's this card that has this money on it, and I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get it, but I was trying to tell them like I could make a payment if I was to get out.
Okay.
But I was gonna say I'm not sure how much my payment plan is. So
okay.
I was trying to see what
Let me ask you, how much are you able to post as far as a bond? Do you know?
Like cash?
Yeah.
not any, but once I get, like, I don't think I'm able to make a bond, like, the bond's way too high.
Well,
Like,
okay.
I'm still trying to, like, I'm still struggling myself, but I'm able to pay at least, like, like $10, $20, $30, $40 at
Okay.
least, and to get me to get to court, because I missed the interview, and then
Yeah.
I had a job opportunity lined up, but I'm not sure if it's there anymore, but I'm pretty sure that they'll work with me because they seen that I was just getting home.
Okay, well, let me do this. I am going to reduce your bond substantially in hopes that you could be released, but it may be too much for you. I'm going to set your
Yeah,
bond in the amount of $500. Also order that you would reimburse the sheriff transportation cost of $137.04. If you're able to pay that, you'd be able to be released. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I have a release date?
No, you have a hearing date on May 31st, and then we'll decide everything at that particular point.
Okay, so I'll probably get released on May 31st.
I don't know. It depends on what happens at the hearing.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking for convenience release.
Okay.
Because I don't live in Calhoun, and they got the wrong address down.
You've got to notify the front of the court whenever you move, and if you don't, all they do is send it to your last known address. So, yeah, from here on out, whenever you move, change your address. You've got to notify the front of the court, or they just continue to send it to the old address.
I got some. Calhoun has my address is 404 West Patterson, Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Saying Calhoun has your address, you have to notify the front of the court. There's a form that you fill out as a change of address. Okay. Court will end this hearing at 8:21 a.m. You're free to go. Have a good day. See, we're a good employment agency. I'm getting an interview.
Now before the court is Kamani Fuller of case 213424 DP. Mr. Fuller is here today after failing to appear before referee Bradfield on December 16th, 2022. Bond is currently set at $500. This is the first bench warrant. He reports no employment. There have been no payments made on this account. The Calhoun County Sheriff's Department is requesting transportation cost reimbursement in the amount of $313.72. Front of the court recommends that a reasonable bond be set in this matter and it be scheduled for hearing on May 31st, 2023 at 8:45 a.m. before this court.
Thank you. Mr. Fuller, you're before the court charged with civil contempt of court due to your failure to appear at a prior hearing as a result of your failure to pay child support. Purpose of this hearing is to set a bond that would assure your attendance at the next hearing on May 31st, 2023 at 8:45 a.m. You will get notice of that in writing. Are you able to post a bond, sir?
Yes, I am, but I just paid $494 a couple days ago before I even came here.
Okay.
That's real.
Okay. Well, we'll look that up and stuff, but how much are you able to post as far as a bond?
I can give up $200 to $300 today. That'll be $800 all together this week.
So you could pay $800?
No, I gave them $494 already, and I only got $200 to $300 left on me.
Well, what the court will do in this matter is the court will I'll reduce your bond and set your bond in the amount of $300. Also, the court will order that you reimburse the sheriff transportation costs of $313.72. If you're able to post the bond, you'd be able to be released. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, can I ask another question?
Sure.
I've been disabled for the last year since February 2nd, 2022. I haven't had no job. I just literally got my job. I just got able to post to work. Just got marked off to work. Actually 2 Mondays ago, and I started working last week. And I got this whole week laid off because of this and a misdemeanor in the city. So I gotta see, do I got my job back? See, can I get my job back? The thing is, I was saying was, y'all was sending the papers to my mom's address, and I stayed somewhere totally different.
Well, that's because the last address that the front of the court had was that address that you'd given them. So if you move, you have an obligation to change your address, and every order that you get says in there that if you are moving, you have to change your address. So if you don't change it, they just keep sending it to the last known address.
Yes.
So you have to fill out a form at the front of the court saying I've moved and this is my new address, and then they'll send everything there.
No, that's okay. I understand that, but I never lived with my mom when I had my son. I always stayed at 16620 Greenfield Road apartment. But it's okay now because I just got evicted and I'm back with my mom now.
Oh, okay.
So I was letting y'all know the whole time y'all sending the information to the wrong house, and now I'm back at my mom's house because I just got on disability.
Okay.
But
Well, somehow that address came up in your file, because we don't just pick an address out of the sky saying, okay, we'll send it here. We only send it there if you live there at some point, and that was the address that they sent all the pleadings to. So I don't know how that happened, but apparently it won't happen again because you are at your mom's. So that'll be that's all we need to do today. Court will end this matter at 8:26 a.m. You're free to go.
Okay. So I gotta change my address when I get a new house?
You have to change your address, correct?
Okay, thank you. I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Is that it, or do you have anything else?
I have some benchmarks for the record. They can wait till Monday if.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
So I do get released. Sorry,
Good morning.
Hi, Mr. Drew. How are you today?
Blessed. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Drew, on January 31st, 2022, you received citations for failure to control speed and no driver's license. How do you want to handle those today? We've never seen you on those. Do you want to plead not guilty, no contest, or guilty?
I could plead no contest if that gets me out today, because
You can plead any of it and get out today.
Yes, ma'am, no contest, because I'll come down now on Monday.
Okay. I mean, you could plead not guilty and be here on Monday.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So which do you want?
Not guilty.
Okay.
Sorry for the misunderstanding.
We do need to talk about these failure to maintain financial responsibility and running a stop sign. You had set up a payment arrangement as an adult. You set up a payment arrangement on those offenses.
Yes, ma'am, I started paying those, but my mother has congestive heart failure now. And so around that time when I was paying those and set up for those, that's when it came about. So it has been very, very traumatic and hard on me. And that's the only person, that I can really depend on. So I have to really work with my mother. So sorry. If I could try to set up a new payment plan or arrangement, I can definitely. Yes, ma'am. Because she's doing a lot more better. It's just that I have to make sure she takes her heart medicine.
How old is your mother?
She just turned 55.
Why do you have to make sure she takes her heart medicine, Mr. Drew?
Because all of our other kids don't live here in Amarillo.
But my kids don't live here and they're not responsible for my heart medicine. I don't take heart medicine, but
I'm responsible because she was what you would call big boned, Yeah. And so when she went to the hospital, now she's slimmer than me. So it makes it very fragile for my mother to do things. She can't pick things up. She can't really cook clean. So I have to help her. Sorry, it just made me cry. But yes, ma'am, she'll go.
But Mr. Drew, I guess my question is, if you were when you have a concern about a loved one like that, and you know that you don't want them to be left alone, I would think that you would want to come into the court on your own.
We have no transportation, ma'am. Like none of so whatever. No transportation. Like I said, I'm
Whose
the only.
car were you in last night?
Whose car was I in? My sister's.
Okay,
She's down here for one day.
I'm just asking because you said you have no transportation, yet you were stopped in a vehicle.
Yes, with my sister, I wasn't driving. My sister's down here for one day, and she has to leave this morning. She came to really help my mother, bring my mother to take her, get her medicine, and help me. And now she has to come bond me out. So I can.
To bond you out, you just pled.
Well, yes, ma'am. I thought you said I could get out.
I said you could get out on the 2 new ones.
So I won't be able to take care of my mother today?
Mr. Drew, let me say something, okay? So you still owe
Can I pay it in full?
I'm sorry, Mr. Drew?
May I pay it in full today?
You can pay the whole thing in full today if you like. Do you want me to tell you how much you owe?
How much, ma'am? What would be able to get me out today so I can get to my mother, Miss Hamilton? Because that's all I'm worried about, please.
Okay. Give me just a second. Maria, there's another charge. There's the open container passenger charge from 515.
Okay.
Yes, he gave me that yesterday, ma'am.
On its way.
Thank you.
Yes, Miss Hamilton, she said she would pay it in full if I can go.
Mr. Drew, give me just a second. There's another offense that the open container offense we didn't get a chance to talk about. Hold on just a second. I'm getting that paperwork. I'm in courtroom 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, ignore the extra paper.
Got it.
Miss Hamilton?
Mr. Drew, can you give me just a moment, please?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I had a question. Sorry.
That's okay. Give me just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
So on May 15th of 2018, so that would have been like Monday-ish.
2018?
No, on Monday at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you were given a citation for driving around with an open container.
That was yesterday, Mel. I got here at.
I hear you, and I saw that report from May 18th.
Yes, ma'am.
But there was a citation given to you as driving around on Monday in a red Ford Focus.
No, ma'am, that's the same car we got pulled over in yesterday. They just charged my sister with it. When they charged me with the open container, and they charged my sister for having a plate cover that was too dark.
What time was that?
It says right here 05:18 when I got.
I'm telling you, I have a citation for you from Monday.
No, ma'am. It's literally yesterday. I promise you. I had the arresting.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I agree with Mr. Drew.
I'm sorry. I'm worried about my
okay. Mr. Drew, I agree with you that you received an open container citation yesterday, or I don't even know if they gave you a citation. But
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
you just keep talking, Mr. Drew.
No. I want to understand because
Well, you won't stop talking.
I wasn't even in traffic Monday.
Okay, I am telling you, you received a citation that's dated May 15th.
Yes, ma'am.
2018. Now, that could be wrong. That I don't know how those officers, I don't know how their little handheld things work, but they say that it was in a red Ford Focus at 10th and Southwest 10th in Georgia,
Yes, ma'am.
which is the same place you got stopped yesterday at 5 o'clock, but they say this was at Monday at 3 o'clock, which is bizarre to me. One of them says May 18th at 5:50, which is like 6 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
And the other one says May 15th at 3 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're saying you did not commit an offense on May 15th at 3 o'clock.
No, ma'am. It was yesterday.
Okay, I know you had the one from yesterday.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
not the question. The question is on May 15th.
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Okay,
No,
so on that one, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to give you what's called a PR bond, because if that is from May 15th, then, I don't know if I would be wanting to jump on a plea, right? On that one. So you can come into court when you come on Monday on your other cases.
Yes, ma'am.
We can talk about that one.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Because the citation the officer wrote.
Yes, ma'am.
May 15th.
Okay.
Which is bizarre. Okay.
Yeah.
Your sister can pay $364 and you can get out of jail.
When? Today?
Today, or if she waits until tomorrow, you can get out for 150 less.
I think I know what happened, Miss Hamilton. They did say that 2 officers got dispatched yesterday and they had 2 different calls. But I don't know how it was the 15th though.
I don't know, but I can't show you on this screen the
Yes,
citation because I'm using 2 different computers.
Yes, ma'am.
But when you come on Monday, we can show you the citation. It says May 15th.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So they probably just made a mistake and maybe they'll get it fixed by Monday, but maybe they won't.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you don't get out today, you'll get out Monday morning.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
It'll all be okay, Mr. Drew.
Yes. How much did you say it was though?
$364.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And then you entered not guilty pleas on the other
So I would have to come see you Monday, right?
Yes. Now, on the cases you entered not guilty on, I think except for the open container.
Yes, ma'am.
If you change your plea on Monday on those, you'll be entitled to 1 day jail credit.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
On each one of those. So
I would just rather come to you personally. You say you could explain it to me.
I would love for you to be here in person, Mr. Drew. I look forward to it.
Because I'm kind of.
I wish you would have come in person earlier and then we wouldn't be having these conversations over Zoom.
Most definitely, yes, ma'am.
If you like to be in person, then you should have been here already, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Drew. Thank you. We'll see you Monday. What time?
2, right? 1:30, you say, right?
1:30 is great. And the deputy's going to give you a map of directions to our court in case you forgot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see you Monday. Thank you.
Because at the time I was on my way over there, and then I got caught into traffic, and it was just a whole bunch.
You got caught in traffic in Amarillo, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was the bad traffic? I want to know. At 1:30 in the afternoon.
I'm saying I got to kind of sidetracked it.
Oh, you got sidetracked. I thought you said you got caught in traffic. Okay.
No.
I was like, wow, I don't know where the big traffic rush is in the afternoon like that. So, okay. Well, sir, you had to be here. Are you working?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Why don't you work, Mr. Schultz?
Because, ma'am, I'm a self-made person. I'm a producer / rapper and all that. I don't need to work, man. I got plenty of Z's and dollars.
Okay. Well, Mr. Scholes, you owe $235 on one case, 281 on the other. Those are cases that you were supposed to be here on the other day. I am going to find that you're not indigent. You failed to make a good faith effort. I'm going to remand you on those. And you're going to I'll give you 1 day jail credit. You also have a possession of drug paraphernalia from yesterday. Do you want to plead not guilty, no contest, or guilty?
Guilty, ma'am.
I'll find you guilty, assess a $531 fine and court costs. I will give you the 1 day jail credit, brings your balance down to $381.
So,
And Mr. Scholes, when you get out of jail on the other cases, you do have to be here the next business day by 2 p.m. Do not get
Monday?
sidetracked
Monday?
when you get out of jail. So if you get out of jail today, then you have to be here Monday. If you get out of jail Monday, you have to be here Tuesday.
Hurry and don't delay. Get your popcorn ready for one night of inmate hijinks and excuses. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Time Served. See you there, folks.